Lord Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Prime Minister, I'm delighted to be in London. Even in this globalized world, London is still the standard of our times. The city has embraced the world's diversity and represent the finest in human achievements. And I'm truly honored to speak in the British Parliament. Mr. Speaker, thank you for opening the doors to us here in this magnificent setting of the Royal Court. I know that the Parliament is not in session. Prime Minister Cameron looks relaxed and relieved. But I want to remind you, Mr. Prime Minister, that you owe my loyalty for an election slogan. I know that you are hosting me at the Checkers this evening. But I also know that you will understand if I am fair to both sides of the floor, especially since British MPs of Indian origin are evenly balanced between the Treasury and the opposition benches. So I also extend my good wishes to the Labour. Indeed, since these are still early days after the election, my warm congratulations to the members of the House and greetings to the eminent leaders of Britain and great friends of India present here today. So much of the modern history of India is linked to this building. So much history looms across our relationship. There are others who have spoken forcefully on the dates and dues of history. I will only say that many freedom fighters of India found their calling in the institutions of Britain. And many makers of modern India, including several of my distinguished predecessors, from Jawaharlal Nehru to Dr. Manmohan Singh, passed through their doors. There are many things on which it is hard to tell anymore if they are British or Indian. The Jaguar of the Scotland Yard, for example, the Brookbond tea, or my friend, late Lord Ghulam Noon's curry. And our strongest debates are whether the Lord's pitch swings unfairly or the wicket at Eden Garden cracks too early. And we love the Bhangra rap from London, just as you like the English novel from India. On the way to this event, Prime Minister Cameron and I paid homage to Mahatma Gandhi outside the Parliament. I was reminded of a question I was asked on a tour abroad. How is it that the statue of Gandhi stands outside the British Parliament? To that question, my answer is, the British are wise enough to recognize his greatness. Indians are generous enough to share him. We are both fortunate enough to have been touched by his life and mission. And we are both smart enough to use the strengths of our connected histories to power the future of our relationship. So I stand here today not as a visiting head of government, given the honor to speak in this temple of democracy. I'm here as a representative of a fellow institution and a shared traditions. And tomorrow, Prime Minister and I will be at the Wembley. Even in India, every young footballer wants to bend it like back home. Wembley will be a celebration of 1.5 million threads of life that binds us. 1.5 million people proud of their heritage in India, proud of their home in Britain. It will be an expression of joy for all that we share. Values, institutions, political system, sports, culture, and art. And it will be recognition of a vibrant partnership and a shared future. The United Kingdom is the third largest investor in India behind Singapore and Mauritius. India is the third largest source of foreign direct investment projects in the United Kingdom. Indians invest more in Britain than in the rest of European Union combined. It is not because they want to save on interpretation costs, but because they find an environment that is welcoming and familiar. It takes an Indian icon, Tata, to run a British icon and become your nation's largest private sector employer. The UK remains a preferred destination for India students. And I'm pleased that an Indian company is taking 1,000 British students to India to skill them in information technology. We are working together in the most advanced area of science and technology. We are finding solutions to the enduring human problems of food and health security and seeking answers to emerging challenges like climate change. Our security agencies work together so that our children return home safe and our increasingly networked lives are not prey to the threats on cyberspace. Our armed forces exercise with each other so that they can stand more strongly for the values we represent. This year alone, we have had 3 exercises together. And in the international arena, your support has made it more possible for India to take her rightful place in global institutions and regimes. And it has helped us both advance our common interests. Mr. Speaker, strong as our partnership is, for relationship such as ours, we must set higher ambitions. We are 2 democracies, 2 strong economies, and 2 innovative societies. We have the comfort of familiarity and the experience of a long partnership. Britain's resurgence is impressive. Its influence on the future of the global economy remains strong. And, Mr. Speaker, India's new bright spot of hope and opportunity for the world. It is not just the universal judgment of international institutions. It is not just the logic of numbers. A nation of 1.25 billion people with 800 million under the age of 35 years. This optimism comes from the energy and enterprise of our youth, eager for change and confident of achieving it. It is the result of bold and sustained measures to reform our laws, policies, institutions, and processes. We are igniting the engines of our manufacturing sector, making our farms more productive and more resilient, making our services more innovative and efficient, moving with urgency on building global skills for our youth, creating a revolution in startup enterprises, and building the next generation infrastructure that will have a light footprint on the earth. Our momentum comes not just from the growth we pursue, but from the transformation that we seek in the quality of life for every citizen. Much of India that we dream of still lies ahead of us. Housing, power, water and sanitation for all, bank accounts and insurance for every citizen, connected and prosperous villages, and smart and sustainable cities. These are goals with a definite date, not just a mirage of hope. And inspired by Gandhiji, the change has begun with us, the way the government works. There is transparency and accountability in governance. There is boldness and speed in decisions. Federalism is no longer the fault line of center-state relation, but the definition of a new partnership of Team India. Citizens now have the ease of trust, not the burden of proof and processes. Business find an environment that is open and easy to work in. In a nation connected by cell phones, Digital India is transforming the interface between government and people. So, Mr. Speaker, with apologies to poet T.S. Eliot, we will not let the shadow fall between the idea and reality. If you visit India, you will experience the wind of change. It is reflected in the surge of investments from around the world, enhanced stability of our economy. In 190 million new bank accounts of hope and inclusion, in the increase in our growth to nearly 7.5% per year, and in the sharp rise in our ranking on ease of doing business. And the motto of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is our vision of a nation in which every citizen belongs, participates, and prospers. It is not just a call for economic inclusion. It is also a celebration of our diversity, the creed for social harmony, and a commitment to individual liberties and rights. This is the timeless ethos of our culture. This is the basis of our Constitution, and this will be the foundation of our future. Mr. Speaker, members and friends, the progress of India